it's really funny because thank you economy and jab, 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 right hook. Day trading attention 6 months ago was called jab, 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 left hook. I'm literally rewriting the book because it's changed so much and I'm ready for a 301 course instead of the 201 that book was at the time. The cool part is organic is here. It's just that you're not good at TikTok. Organic is here, it's just that you haven't even committed to LinkedIn and then thus can't be good at it. So couple things. One, you've won between Netflix and Instagram and that run on awareness leading to sales. That is still on the table for all of us. It's just a lot harder right now, right? That's all that's happened, but it's actually never been greater. It's like this weird thing. It's like, there's always ebbs and flows. It's why I was so, and I know it sounds like a lot of you have had context on me for a long enough time. It's why I was so loud. Pandemic was March 2020. It was why I was so loud late 18, all of 19 about TikTok. The land grab of organic was better than anything Instagram ever had. But nobody moved because everyone was pot committed Instagram. So couple things. One, let that little thing, because you'll always, clearly what you have resonates, you just need to arb attention versus value, right? Just make sure that every time there's another new thing, especially if I'm loud about it, because that means it already happened, I'm not guessing, to go triple hard. I remember I promised myself before TikTok, if I ever saw another YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Vine, that was it. I was gonna go into a cocoon. I wasn't even gonna run Vayner. I was gonna be because I knew it. And sure enough, Musical.ly came, TikTok came, I saw it. I did great, but I fucking went like 20% hard. Because I had other responsibilities. And boy, do I wish I went 100% hard. Because it may be a long time before we have as big of a moat of opportunity as TikTok 18, 19 was. Anyway, that's all to be said that when they get into brand formants later, like there's definitely a play, media's great. Like I think people get religious, especially when they're great at organic. Like I grew all this without media. I'm like, that's not a badge of honor. I'm like, if you're a media, right? And I get why. It goes back to a lot of what we're talking about here, like the subconscious, but when you really break it down, but if you could spend media perfectly and it would grow your business, why wouldn't you, like, you know, you get caught in these like ideologies. So I think don't demonize paid. Paid's scary because like it feels really hurtful when you like spend $100,000 and nothing happens.
External agencies, they try to take credit for a lot, right? So they're like, hey, I'm contributing like 25% of your revenue. And you're like, bro, you just got here like 6 weeks ago.
100%. I always make fun of our team. I'm like, we every time a business is doing well, you all say we did it, and every time it's not doing well, it's their fault. I'm like, you hypocrites. I think the thing I'm most proud of, and I hope you've all felt this, is like when you go to my grid, it's like a potpourri of randomness. Everyone's so obsessed with their grid being on brand. It's just not how people consume. They're consuming content to content. So the thing that's definitely happening in your world, if your wife's like, fuck this shit, I don't want to do this every day, you're not challenging yourselves to figure out other ways to do content. People get into ruts. They have something that works and they do it for the next 7 years. Like you have to try different shit. Like again, the thing I'm most proud of, and I want you all to go look at my last 100 posts on Instagram. We're trying all sorts of shit. Pouring fucking milk into coffee to say be you. Like I'm saying the same shit for 20 years. But if you find different creative ways and you understand, you can find that pay dirt. So like maybe it's just audio. Maybe the two of you should have dinner where you know you're recording the dinner and you like know you're recording it and it's all audio. And you just literally like talk about shit that you want like to get out there, and that's your podcast. And maybe that's your creative pay dirt. Cause that would be like some shit that I would listen to if I gave a fuck about a couple. Just them having dinner. And like literally.
2 post carousels?
Yep, still working, but like again, I'm already feeling it's just that's why I'm calling it day trading attention. I'm trying to get people out of the rut of like, oh, this works. They think it works for like the next 9 years. You gotta be in it. You've hit that place we all have hit. Fatigue of the style of the creative or the distribution of the creative. You gotta challenge yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah. Introducing new people. You know when a sitcom has a great run and it's getting a little tired, they bring in like the kid, like that fucking weird kid for, the Brady Bunch, and even Leo DiCaprio I think was like the kid for Growing Pains, like they're, like to spice it up, like Cosby Show I think had a kid, like every great sitcom when it gets tired introduces that new character with the hope. You know, like you may want to introduce a new character to your ecosystem.
I think that's what we're just thinking about is like as we introduce new things, trying to measure that to like that is working.
You know what's funny? Like you got to make sure you have patience in that. It's funny, like always think about your purest self when you were winning, and then realize after levels of success how you're no longer that person. Me holding on to 2005 Gary is probably my best business move, because you weren't fucking ROI measuring in 2014 Instagram the way you are now. You've become mature. You've become corporate. You're looking for ROAS and CAC and LTV, acronyms you didn't even know what the fuck they meant 8 years ago when it started popping off. 2005 Gary still runs this. As a matter of fact, you know this, you guys know this. 2005 Gary or 2011 Gary, if we're talking VaynerX terms, came back a couple years ago and, right? And it's been way better, right? Because I wanted to learn what I didn't know what I didn't know. So I started bringing in more of corporate agency DNA over like a 5-year period. And then I knew what it was and I was like, all right, I'll keep the 3% of this garbage that I like and we're gonna go back to 97% me, and boy, right? It's like, and across, forget about feelings, like the P&L shows it and it's just real life.
This whole content is you now.
Yep. Yep. So, themes that work, right?
Yeah.
That.
Thanks. I'll end here. Just external, like generating, like let's see, taking advantage of like external media opportunities, right?
Yep.
We have a bunch coming our way now versus just deciding to go in-house with generating content. Is there a way that you like kind of evaluate that to make that call of like, hey, like do your own show on YouTube and just press that? Because
I think it's and. Now, if you're saying show, like obviously an external production company, like I think right now if you're off the air, which it sounds like you are, I do my own show immediately. So when the next production company comes and wants you to do something, you're like, yeah, but I'm keeping my show. And like, yeah, you can do that. We're gonna do a different version here. So that would be on my mind on strategy. You can only win on passion or knowledge. Like someone like you, there's a lot of ways to win, but you, my gut, based on what I'm hearing, you're gonna win on either you love the fucking Canucks more than breathing, or you really know something else well. I went with the well and passion, right? I went wine, business marketing. You know, I think you have a pretty clear, like what's also cool about the core real estate business is it's not like you have to retire. The fact that you can start something around Pokemon, video games, table tennis, pool, whiskey, while still doing the real estate and then integrating it the way I do, because I'm all over the fucking place. You might get a fucking garage sale video for me or a Jets video or business or like, you know, like I don't think people realize the Renaissance man and woman thing is very real. Everyone's like, you gotta stay consistent. The bad advice, don't worry about it, I'm not distracted. The bad advice that people go and be like, pick your niche and go, yes, but then once you have your steak, you can sell mashed potatoes, you could sell green beans. What do you think's gonna happen, brother? You think somebody in Vancouver is gonna see a video about you talking about whiskey and be like, oh, he also likes whiskey, I can't take him serious about real estate? People don't deploy common sense to this conversation. They talk academia.